I've lived in Ireland now for about 17, 18 years. I've had some great experiences, but I knew it was time for me to move abroad. And here's what happened. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I say this in every video. I moved to Amsterdam for the summer. You can tell it was one of my most favorite experiences ever because I talk about it so much. This was about a year and a bit into my running journey. I was full on obsessed with running at this point now, right? All I cared about was progress, you know. I sacrificed a lot for running, you know. I think at this point I was doing 40 miles really consistently. As I moved over, I wanted to up it more and more and more. I was happy out in Ireland, you know, running. I had a perfect schedule. I was doing stuff. So when I knew I was going to move abroad, you know, I was a bit nervous at first and I was a bit apprehensive, honestly, because I wanted to progress in running so much, you know what I mean? I was so in my head about progress, getting better at running. I wanted to be the best runner ever, basically. Knowing I was moving away was a bit nerve-wracking, but I adapted to it very well and it completely changed my perspective on sports and on running. We found a nice little house in a place called Amsterdam, just outside of Amsterdam. We stayed with this lovely old couple that weren't really in the house that much. They were only there the odd time. I didn't know the city at all. I didn't know where we were. I didn't know what areas were safe, what areas weren't safe. Most of Amsterdam is safe though, to be honest with you. It was a bit nerve-wracking at the start, and we arrived, I think, on a Saturday. Sunday was the very, very first time that I went running abroad. My big tip for anyone running abroad: first of all, if you're going on holiday, just don't run, just take the week off or whatever, enjoy yourself. But if you were moving away, my first number one tip would be not do your schedule straight away. First of all, get used to the area, and second of all, get used to the temperature, because when we'd moved over to the Netherlands, usually the Netherlands and Ireland have the exact same temperature, but this summer was completely different. The Netherlands temperature was stupid high for me. My first long run, I started off in Amstelveen. Amstelveen to Museumplein in Amsterdam was about 5 miles. I was getting a pretty decent 10-mile run, 5 miles out, 5 miles back, and it was my very first time doing it, so I had no notion where I was going. I just started running. I knew the general direction of the city. Stupid idea, completely led to me, first of all, stopping and starting, which can lead to injury. Kept nearly getting run over by a bike or a car because I was just in the wrong place all the time. What I would use is a thing called Where Am I Running. I'll pop up the website here. I can't remember the names, like Where Am I Running or Map My Run or something like that. It's basically Google Maps. You can track out how far is 5 miles, and you're able to track out where to go and all that. That run actually nearly led to me getting sick and injured. I'd done the 10 miles, but I was nowhere near where Emma was, you know, near the house. So I had to walk another mile to get there, and I was in a t-shirt and I was sweating, and obviously that leads to illness. But then after that, I slowly built up a nice little routine. You know, I finally started to understand the routes and all that. I started running around Amstelveen a lot. There was this massive forest called the Bos Forest. The first run I did in it was a week later. I did another Sunday long run. Same exact thing happened. I didn't know where I was running, and I ended up stopping, starting, and I ended up kind of getting lost and going back, and again, another huge mistake. I stopped doing that and I found this beautiful little kind of lake thing. So basically what it was used for was for rowers. You know, when rowers go fucking rowing, you know, when they do that. It was around that huge massive lake river thing, and it was around a 2-mile loop, but it was just a circle, and the views were fantastic. You know, I know people get bored going around in a loop or whatever, but you would never get bored of this loop. It was absolutely beautiful, and there was always so many people out there because it was this massive forest. The odd time I ran into the Rikes, and back. I finally figured out how to get there, and even to this day, you know, I know the exact route from Amstelveen to the Rikes. That was an absolutely unbelievable run. I always did my Sunday long runs out there, and let me tell you, I never once got bored of it. It was so much fun. I'll tell you my schedule now, what I did. This is ridiculous now, okay? I actually don't even do this much anymore. I'm a more established runner now. Monday was my day off. Tuesday it was training. I'll get to that. Tuesday there was training. Wednesday I think I did 9 miles. Thursday I think I did 8 miles. Friday I did 7 miles. Saturday was training, and Sunday I did 10 miles. I joined this running group called the Running Junkies. What I looked up was running groups in Amsterdam, and these are the first boys that came up. I looked up where they train, and it said they're only they train 2 miles away from me, and I was like, that's perfect. I could literally do my warm-up, run down to them and run back. So that's what I did every Tuesday and Saturday. Sorry, that's wrong. Every Tuesday and Thursday were my training sessions. Every Tuesday we met in a place freaking called, I think it was near a place called the Pipe or something like that. I'll get it up on the map now. It reminded me of an old style, like New York kind of place. They all met up at this guy's restaurant. So one of the owners of Running Junkies also owned a restaurant, and like you go up, you drop your bags, you have a chat to everyone, you throw in like a fiver into a jar basically, right? Talk to everyone, and then someone be like, all right lads, look, we're doing this today. There's this group, this group, this group. It's like slow group, fast group, normal group, whatever. And you take off a run for 7 miles. It was a 7-mile run for those training sessions. It was great. You know, I met so many new people. She became like really good friends with one dude over there. It was his birthday, and he like invited me and Emma to his birthday party and all that kind of crack. Like, it was great. Met a few Irish, of course. I met a few Irish people over there. Guy from Kildare, and it was like, yeah, I knew you were Irish, but I knew by the look of you and all that crack. Like, we do a warm up, and then we'd all meet up in Museum Plain. It's so surreal running in like Grenagh, Ireland. You know what I mean? It's so surreal running here and then running in this beautiful big city. You know, it's like a dream. Then afterwards, somebody was cooking in the restaurant this whole time. Then like we'd have a meal. We'd just all have a meal together. Like, it was absolutely unbelievable. We'd enjoy our meal. Then me and Emma would just cycle home, or else we'd run home. Groups were separated. There was like lads who took this seriously, and there was lads that are just here for the crack. Most of them were just there for the crack, and that completely changed my perspective on running. You know, some of these boys would have the meal, have a beer, and still do running, and like they just did it for the fun. You know what I mean? It loosened me up a bit because I was really serious. I was like, yeah, I was like to Emma, I was like, yeah, this is so nice, whatever, but these lads, you know, they aren't doing it fast enough for me and all this kind of shit. Get my head out of my ass, right? It was so much fun, and they were great people. They taught me a lot. Honestly, they taught me a lot. Thursday's session then was actually on a track. There was this small little track next to the Olympic Stadium. We trained there, and let me tell you, they were some of the hardest sessions I've ever done, man. They did like, you know, they did the sessions they do here, but in the blistering heat in Amsterdam, I was cooking. But then what they do after that is, when they finished, they all ran down to a canal. Hold on. This is not a canal, the canals you see in like center of the city. This was like a big body of water. They went down there and they just jumped in, and we all just had the crack, like, you know what I mean? It was all about the crack. They trained hard or whatever, but it was all about fun. Oh, we'd all jump into this water, we'd jump in, and some of us would swim over to the other side. Every single Thursday there was this old woman who lived on the water. She'd be fucking yelling us. It was like a pure stereotypical old woman. She'd have a newspaper in her hand, she'd be waving around like, get the fuck off my fucking canal boat or whatever, like, you know what I mean? After that, I didn't do it because I was still like, I'm not a big drinker, you know, but I was really didn't want to. I regret this. They went to a bar afterwards and just had a few drinks. I never ever went, but I wish I did, because I didn't like being around all that drink. I never got around to it. But then on Sundays they did a long run. They all did their long run together. I wish I did that too, but I just like to do my own thing. That was that group, the Running Junkies. I'll put up their thing. If you're ever in Amsterdam and you want to start running or do any running, join these lads. Whoever runs it is one of the nicest boys I've ever met in my life. Again, the luck of this, like, I didn't research any of this before going to Amsterdam, but they actually had a park run not even a mile away from me in the Bosphorus every single Saturday. And what would happen is the Running Junkies would actually like volunteer every week to do that. And again, another regret I have is that I didn't loosen up and like help one of the weeks. I didn't do it every Saturday, but I'd like set out a month in advance and be like, right, in a month's time I'm doing this park run, I'm going to try and beat my PB. I did that twice, I think, and each time I did break my PB, which is fantastic. It showed that the running was working. I don't know how I did it, but I never got injured throughout this whole time in Amsterdam, and I just kept getting better and better. And all the Running Junkie people were at every single race, and afterwards we just have a chat. Then they'd be like, right lads, we're going into a canal, go on, let's go swimming or whatever. It opened my fucking eyes, right? So I am not saying nothing bad about Leave Ale. Leave Ale is a very serious club. They're all about making athletes, breaking records, and getting people into the Irish team and the Olympics and all that. They're all about that, but that's what they are, and that's what I was full on into, was the seriousness, the progression and all that. Then when I moved abroad and I ran for the Running Junkies, you know, they opened my eyes a bit. Like, I still want to be serious and progress, you know, but I also want to have fun. These lads were all about the fun. Like, saying that though, they still had a lot of fucking good athletes. The guy I was best friends with was a fantastic marathon runner, you know, he was absolutely brilliant. 1 or 2 Tuesdays now I was fucking struggling, and I was actually a bit scared, to be honest, because on Tuesdays someone who knows the city very well leads the group, and they were so much better than me, and I didn't realize this, and like it was the last mile and I was like, I'm about to pass out and I have no idea where I am right now. I kept up with them, thank God. Emma also made a few friends over there, and she's the biggest runner now, but like she made a few friends and she loved it. We have nothing but good things to say about the Running Junkies. When we move there like permanently, I do hope we are around Amstelveen again or Amsterdam, because I do want to join these boys again. To be fair, it was absolutely devastating when I had to leave because I seen it. They every year for the Amsterdam Marathon, they do like this cheer zone. So I think it's around the Rijks where they all hang around the Rijks. And whenever someone's come back, you stay there all day just clapping them on, and it's ever wanting to run somewhere, try and run with people. Like, they may not be as good as you, they may be better than you, but it's just so much better. You meet new people, you make new friends, but most importantly, you learn so much more. These people could be running for years on end, and they could tell you something that you'd be like, I never thought about that before. That's basically how it opened my eyes, you know. That's how it kind of been like, I changed my perspective on sport in general, not just running, but in general, you know, just to have more fun, really. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Please comment if you enjoyed it. See you later. Have a good day. Goodbye.